name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, is he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, is he who has made time, the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites as Amen-Ra and Atu. He's known among the Hebrews as Ansof, Yahweh and Elohim. He's known among the Christians as Lord God and Jehovah, and among the Muslim or the Islamic world as Allah, one God. He's known among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one Almighty God. It is to that one Almighty God whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I further more boldly proclaim that we, the sons and daughters of those men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the 13th tribe born right here in North America, and we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I furthermore boldly proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the planet Earth flow through our veins. I greet you, my brothers and my sisters, in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which I hotep. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Habar Alafia. And Asher. Once again, it's always an honor and a privilege to stand before you and that God may use me as a vehicle to deliver a weighty word, a message, instructions. Sometimes a word that can even save our lives. You know, when you open yourself up to the Creator, you never know who God is speaking to when he uses you, or who God is helping when he uses you. And I thank God for this opportunity that he may use me today, because I believe many of us, including myself, we can use some help about that. Oh, yeah. You know, we are well into 2013 now, you know, which means we're well into change. And as I said last week, change is not always a positive thing. You know, a lot of times we like things to just stay the way they are, because change can mean that they get worse. You know, because that's still change too. That's correct. You know, I was living in an apartment, now I'm living under a viaduct. You know, that's change. You know. But I don't think when we look at change, we really be expecting things like that. You know, when we were teaching that change was coming and Obama represented change, you know, we weren't really looking at, you know, change being something of a negative connotation, you know, because for whatever reason, we believe that good things are supposed to come to us, and we don't have anything to do with drawing it. You know, I've never in my life seen a person, well, maybe no, I can't say that. A person earn a living. Man, I can't even say that now. The white man is just something else. Because I was going to say I've never seen a person sit on their butt and make a living. But I can't even say that. I can't even say that today. Because the white man has made that a reality now. You can sit on your butt and get rich. That's just not right. I mean, I was always told, you know, and I remember Brother Joshua, when we were in Primerica, they taught us, you eat what you make. You don't make nothing, you don't eat. And that's an incentive. You know, that's a great incentive in life. You want to eat, you got to get up and do something. But that's not my lecture. You know, brothers and sisters, we are good things are on the horizon, but they're only there for those who plant the seeds. You know, harvest time's coming, you know. But many of us didn't put no seeds down. You know, but we want to stand there like a chick with your mouth open. Because you know closed mouth don't get fed on the boulevard. Ain't that what they say? Oh, y'all think I listen to that? I know what's up. Closed mouths don't get fed, so we open our mouths waiting for somebody to drop something in there for us. You know, we've been, well, I'm not going to, let me, because I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to make this announcement. I know we were talking earlier about, Sister Cheryl had made the announcement about the market day.
Yeah.
I believe it was at Betty Shabazz.
Correct.
Well, we would just like to announce that the Temple of Mercy Association has received some very large acres of land. It was given to us. Farmland on the outskirts of Indiana. It's only an hour drive from here. And the minister and I and some others, we're going to take a little road trip out there to take a look at what we have. Now, and I hope we don't, you know, maybe I need to ask this question. Because did you all know we have a house?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
How many of y'all have been by the house?
Every 2-3 days. Check. Make sure it's still there.
You know, I don't know when I say we have a house. Maybe y'all think that I mean me. I got a house. When I say we, that's our house. For real. That's real talk. When I say we have farmland, we have some farmland.
Yes, sir.
And believe it or not, the house is not going to renovate itself, and the farmland is not going to farm itself. And I'm only saying that because when we talk about change, just because Obama in office don't mean black folks finna rise to the top automatically. It ain't finna happen. You actually got to do something. Minister Raheem, he stated that this is our time.
Oh, yeah.
He said if you have a dream and you have a goal in life, he said go for it. This is the time. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Throw fear to the side. Throw caution to the wind. Go for it. Now, I'm not saying if you always had a dream of being the biggest dope dealer in the city. I'm hoping ain't no none of them in here. I don't think so.
I don't know, they just might make it this time.
But look, we got this land. Things are, I mean, we're in the process of even buying this building and the building next to it. We want to get the whole side of this street.
Okay. All right.
Now, mind you, I'm saying that, and I think I might have $50 in my pocket. Well, we checked that, 15. 17. Oh, 12. It's going down, brother.
It's an invisible fact.
Yeah, it's invisible there, yeah. But I'm only, because see, look, we raised $3,000 in a 30-day time frame. $3,000. Anything is possible. I mean, I even, at one point, put this mathematical equation out. If we could wake up, and I know this is not going to happen, but just follow me for a moment. if everyone in Inglewood was conscious and we were working together and we all every week put $1 into a, how can I say it, I don't want to call it building fund, into a development fund, I like that. A community development fund. Do you know how many people live in this community?
Over 300,000 total.
In 1 week, we would have $300,000 in a community development fund. Do we need the white man?
No.
Do we need a grant?
Turned it down.
Now, we already know you're not going to get 300,000 black folks to even, we can't screw a light bulb in unity. But there was a concept that a man brought to us, and they killed him. A man by the name of Ken Bridges. This is not my lecture. This is just something that's coming out, so I'm just going to say it. A man by the name of Ken Bridges. He knew that you couldn't get the majority of our people to be conscious enough. But he believed that we can get 10%. So 10% of 300,000? 30,000, right? So that just by mathematics alone, there are 30,000 conscious people in this community. Now you understand why Minister Raheem is so gung-ho on community walks. Because people aren't going to, how can I say, conscious people aren't running around looking for other conscious people. I just want to say that to you. They believe they're the only conscious people around, so they're just sitting back watching everything happen. And think that everybody else is unconscious, except for them. And so in order to make them aware, you have to go to them, because they're not coming to us. They're not coming here. So we have to go knock on doors. We have to do outdoor events to make people aware. You don't know who's going to walk by, and say, hey, what are they talking about over there? Oh, let me check that out. Before you know it, you begin to build the what? The word. Now, I'm only saying this because as we continue to grow this thing, a lot of us are in the process of getting caught up. Remember, I warned us of this. We're getting caught up because we're getting desperate. I remember when I turned 30, I thought the world was finna come to an end. Because I didn't have my Grammy yet. I was a musician. I said, man, I know, and I just know I'm good in this. I went to school for this. I went to a university on a music scholarship. So I know what I'm doing. By 30, I'm going to have my Grammy. And see, when you begin to plan a life out that don't belong to you, and then life takes a turn that you didn't plan for, then we begin to question ourselves and doubt ourselves, and we begin to wonder, is the rumors about us true? You ain't nothing, ain't never gonna be nothing. You a bum, you a all the other B words. You begin to question that. Is that true now? Because I can't seem to get wrong. Wrong right. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, people are snapping out. The pressure is on. Because we do not understand yet that our lives have already been mapped out for us.
Teach. Teach.
Yes, sir.
It's your job to get on board
That's right.
with the map, the road map. Get on board, not create a new wheel. The wheel already been made. Get on and roll with it. Play your part. But when you go against the grain and be fighting your destiny, when you fight against your destiny, you will eventually snap out.
That's true.
Teach.
You can't fight God. You can't beat him. And if you're in this room, God has a purpose for you. And if you have made one for yourself, I feel sorry for you. I'm going to be here to help you if you let me. But you're going to have some problems.
Yeah.
Come on.
Say that. Say it.
You are going to have some problems.
That's real talk.
Now, I'll just say it for real. You having problems.
Correct.
Because I know when change started instituting, which it did, April 1st, 2013.
28 days ago.
And you remember what they say? All you got to do is you do a thing for 28 days and it becomes a habit.
Correct.
If you've been fighting against God for 28 days, it's a habit now.
Yeah.
So that means you have now stamped yourself. Now mind you, it ain't over though. But you have stamped yourself as a sin addictive to sin, based upon sin is the transgression against God. And if God has a destiny for your life and you have gone against that destiny for 28 days, you have been in sin for 28 days, so now you are under the thing called the penalty for sin. Which you know what that is?
Yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
It don't mean that you finna go have a heart attack and drop dead. It starts with your mind. You start hallucinating. Thinking things that ain't there. Thinking everybody against you. Am I talking about you, sister? I'm sorry. No, I feel you, sister. I know what's going on because I ain't talking about I'm no book. I've been there.
Teach.
I've been right where I'm talking about. Right? Please, I know what it is.
That's right.
Look, I've been on crack. I ain't talking about I read a book about crack.
Right.
I smoked Sherman. I was a drug addict. I ain't talking about I read a book about drug addicts.
Say it.
So I ain't telling you nothing that I ain't been through. Now, mind you, who would you rather instruct you as far as to get back to a destination? A person that ain't never been there or a person that read a book about getting there? You trying to get to California or you trying to get to State and Lake, you ain't never been there before, and you taking advice from somebody that read a book. Or would you rather have advice from somebody that been to State and Lake?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, and this is where we go wrong. We take advice from Pookie and Ray Ray. I'm going to use your term. And Pookie and Ray Ray in the hood with you.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
They ain't been nowhere. They don't know no more than you. If I was you, that's the main thing they say. If I was you, speculation, that's all it is. But look, you have to, brothers and sisters, you have to stand post now. If you've never known anything about being a security officer, you better be one now.
That's right.
You got to stand post over your own mind.
Yes, sir. Say it.
Because believe me, when I tell you, all right, let us stand for our matriarch that's coming in, Dr. Webb Evans. Please give him a hand. Dr. Webb, how you doing, my brother? Yes, sir. Looking good, doctor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Everything I got on came from black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, please be seated.
Thank you.
Stand your post, brothers and sisters. You know, the Nation of Islam say your post is everything within hearing and within sight.
That's right.
That's your post.
Yes, sir.
So however far you can see, that's how far you got to guard yourself now. And I hate to say it, you don't want to listen, you ain't going to hear me. Next month, I'm going to go into it a little bit more. Is it next month? Maybe a month after next. I think it is. Yeah, a month after next. But the main people you need to be protecting yourself from is those people that call themselves family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know y'all don't want to hear me.
Oh, yeah.
Family is not what it used to be no more.
Right. Say that.
And I'm not saying I love my family. I love my mother, my brother, my sister. I love them. But Jesus said it best. If they don't see life like you, if they're not going for things in life like you, they are not of you.
That's right.
Blood is one thing. Spiritual family is based on, again, the connection that we have based upon our goals in life. See, if me and the minister have been brothers for years, over 30 years, because we believe the same, and we've been on the same path for 30 years, over 30 years, on one accord. This is what makes him my brother. I have a blood brother. My blood brother ain't here. I love him, but he's not here.
Right.
Does that mean that if something happened with my brother, he became ill, that I don't care? No. But where I put my energy at is based upon where me and my brother and my sisters and my mothers and my fathers, what we have in common and what we believe in and what we know.
That's right.
I know of a sister right now today. I ain't got to my lecture yet. I'm going to get there, y'all. I hope so. I know of a sister right now that's in a relationship with a straight up dog. I ain't talking about even the little D, a big D dog. Capital D-O-G. I'm serious.
Man.
I even make it even clearer. A bipolar dog. And I don't know what her thought processes was. I know what it was. Y'all will probably figure it out later. That she bought this guy a Range Rover. Yeah, well, she put him on her lease. She bought a 2-flat. Put him on the lease. And then caught him in her bedroom with some woman. Now, I'm not gossiping. I'm saying this for a reason. This ain't the first time she caught him. This is more like the fourth. And every time she caught him, she moved her stuff out, took the car away from him. Because he's not moving because his name on the lease.
Wow.
Now, you all heard the story about the little boy that cried wolf. We can be in a situation that's toxic for us. Now, I'm just talking about, I'm using her situation as an example, and now that's toxic. When you allow people to keep doing you wrong, but you keep going back to them and letting them do wrong because maybe 3 weeks later, she moved back in, gave them the Range Rover back, and they business as usual. And then it happens again, and she go through the same old vicious cycle. We may not, and we can look at her situation and say, what the hell is wrong with her? Why don't she wake up and smell the damn coffee? You know, we can say that because we can see out real good. We can't see in that well at all. You know, we can't look at ourselves and see parallels between things that are going on in other people's lives and make parallels connections with things that may be going on in our life. Like, you can say, well, I ain't gonna let no man do me like that. Oh, brothers, I would never let a sister do me like that. Matter of fact, I wouldn't have put her name on the lease, no way.
That's right.
Thank you.
We can say that.
That's right.
But what I'm referring to is when you emotionally involved, and I'm not just even talking about relationships. I only use that as an example. I'm talking about when you allow people to do you wrong and based on the comfort level that you feel in the wrong, you can't change. You don't want to change because you are afraid of what change looks like. Because remember, change can go either way. Does change mean this sister would be alone for the rest of her life? Does change mean she leave that brother and find a new good brother right after that? Who knows? Nobody knows. Does change mean, brothers and sisters, that when you make a decision to say enough is enough, and I'm sick and tired, and then the next thing that presents itself to you is that very thing that you feared, do you then take 10 steps backwards and say, oh no, I can't go that way. I'm afraid. I don't like being alone. You know, there are some people that don't like being by themselves. Now, mind you, I'm still not talking about relationships. I mean, not man and woman relationships. Because what I'm talking about is a relationship between a people, black people and white folks. You know, we have a relationship. Did y'all know that? A relationship, slave, master, slave. When the slave master continues to do you like he does you, and you keep going back to him, brother, right now, because of desperation, working for the damn devil, I was telling Sister Cheryl earlier that in the early 80s, Minister Raheem and our band, we used to be the house band for this club that used to be down the street on Halsted. I think it was like 76 in Halsted, I think it is. It was called High Society.
Society,
It was called High Society
yeah.
then.
Society,
And the High Society never had no customers. But we be in there playing. We was getting down with nobody in there. And of course, the rumor was that the owners were drug dealers. And they were using the place as a front, selling drugs. I'm going to ask you all a question. Do you all think that as a band, we should have said, I'm not gonna play in this club because you guys are selling drugs? How many people would say that? Just raise your hand. Oh, nobody. Wow. I don't know why I'm shocked, but wow.
You asked if we think you should have said that, but you didn't ask us if we would have said it.
Oh, I thought that's what I asked.
Oh, if we would have said, I thought it
If you were in my position, in our position, would you stop playing now?
I would stop. I would stop.
I think I would, yes, sir.
You would? I thought you would. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of shocked. You wouldn't have stopped.
Common sense.
Well, most self-righteous people do. You know, you'd be surprised at how many situations you find yourself in that is an illegal situation. You may not even know about it. But just to finish the story up, we continue to play there under the understanding and belief that this guy hired us to play, and that's all we're going to do. I DJ parties all the time. And some of them I prefer not to go back to. But my point basically for bringing all this up is that the time that we are in right now is a time of desperation.
Amen. Tell it.
Everybody's desperate. Everybody's looking for success. Everybody is looking to be all they can be and to reach the goals that they have in life and at least be headed in that direction. You know, you 25, 26, 27, 30 years old, and, you know, the little kid era is over. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, you got to really get serious about life.
Yes.
But nobody ever taught you what serious is. You know, no more than just getting a job, paying bills.
Right.
You know, we think that's the gist of being a grown-up and being serious about being grown. You know, I pay my bills on time. You know, I earn a living and so I'm serious about life. And so we believe this, but yet and still, when certain expectations that we have of ourselves, remember what I said earlier, when you begin to expect things of your life and you put time limits on it, you know, I'm going to be rich by the time I'm 30. I'm going to be married with 2 children. I'm going to have 2, just 2. 2 children and you on 4 now. You see what I'm saying? And so you begin to not feel like you don't have no control. You know, I'm trying to get you to understand is that the control that you have is to put yourself in line with the Creator. Because there is a purpose for your life. You need to find out what it is. If you're going crazy, and let me define what going crazy is. Because I've been there too. But most of it was drug enhanced. When everything, well, no, I should say, nothing seems to be going your way. Nothing. You tell the doggone dog to sit and he won't sit. Somebody owe you some money and you make a plan based on that money. So-and-so owe me $100 and my cell phone bill is due. They're going to pay me on Friday, so I'm going to pay my cell phone bill Saturday. But then so-and-so don't pay you no money on Friday. So now your phone cut off because so-and-so didn't come through like they were supposed to.
Right.
Nothing seems to go right. You go to put a frozen pizza in the oven and it burn up.
No, you better yet, you cook it, and it's good, and you cut it, and you find a bug in it.
Or wild cut, did it fall on the floor? Now, mind you, each one of these things is causing a buildup. A buildup towards what's called snap out. For real. You're building up. And people can look at you. And you look normal. You see what I'm saying? But you're on the verge of snapping the hell out.
Somebody.
No, the snap, I ain't talking about going off cussing nobody out. I'm talking about walking around with an Eskimo coat on in 100-degree weather. I'm talking about that kind of snap out.
That's right. Gone. It's gone.
We right there. You see what I'm saying? And this stuff builds up. But it builds up based upon the fact that we have these expectations. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't expect things out of life. You know, I've been saying for the longest, and y'all been hearing me. I'm going to get me what's it called? Navigator.
Oh, yeah.
I said, before it's over, I love the Lincoln Navigators. I got to have one. Now, y'all have never heard me say, I'm going to have it next month. I just say, before it's over. Before I check out, I don't care if it's a week before. I'm going to get me a Lincoln Navigator. I ain't talking about rent neither. You know, you can rent, but I'm talking about I'm my own one. And I don't even care if it's an old one. I don't care. But I'm going to get one. Because I put it out there. You know, the Creator ain't going to let me, he ain't going to let me down like that. I got to do his part, though. I got to do my part, I mean. You know, I got to do his work. And he going to take care of me. I'm going to have that navigator. I'm working my way up to it. I got a van.
That's right.
Baby steps. But see, but now what if I put that pressure on myself? And this is what we do. Next week, this is what's going to happen. Next month, this is going to happen. And it don't happen. And then you begin to, again, get this build-up. Because remember what we was, what was that, a week ago? About a couple of weeks ago, maybe. Where we were talking about disappointments.
Yeah.
Disappointment and rejection is a mother.
Yeah.
Especially when you are disappointed in yourself. It's a different thing. It's a whole other animal when it's you disappointed in you than somebody else being disappointed in you. The pressure is heavier when it's you. Because when you feel that, depression begins to set in, and you begin to do things to try to relieve the pain. Usually, it's something that only adds to it. It's almost like adding gasoline to a fire. We go get drunk. We go hang out with Pookie and Ray Ray. So guard your minds, brothers and sisters. If you don't know how to guard your minds, we're going to give you an indication of it today, because today we're going to be talking about the subject matter is dealing with your gifts and your talents. Every last one of us have them. Every last one. I'm going to start by reading the little introduction letter that's before the, if you all have your books, you can follow along. If not, you can just listen. It's fine. Dear students, upon completion of the previous lessons, we shall have a better understanding of the purpose of life and why God made us black. This understanding is needed in order to be in the right mindset to comprehend your talents. See, you got to have something you standing on. The thing that you need to understand is your purpose. If you don't know why you're here, and you don't understand why God made you black like he made you, and how he made you, then you can't go no further and go into your talents and your gifts, because you still fighting the fact that I'm black and ugly. You think that's a problem. You don't want to hear nothing about I got gifts. Yeah, I know what my gift is, ugly. Yeah, you don't want that gift. No. Your life must have purpose other than the purpose that the world dictates to us. Once we realize that purpose that can come with our being created, then we can better accept why God made us black. It's connected to your purpose. With this clearly understood, we are now ready to receive the understanding of our gifts and talents that our God gives us all. Remember, with all thy getting, get an understanding. Proverbs 4:7. All right, let's get started. With all thy getting. Yeah, it's Proverbs 4:7. Mm-hmm. Before we get started, we must see clearly the purpose and need for God's instruction to us through the lives of those men and women of the Holy Bible. These stories are examples of life experiences and our relationship with the Creator. In the Holy Bible, we get that. This is our experiences, all the experiences that these people went through in the relationship, as well as the Holy Quran. These are stories. And the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran are books that our Creator God, has given us so that we can learn through these lives lessons how we are to be and how we are not to be. See, when you read the story of Job, or you read the story of Jacob, and you read the story of Abraham and Moses and all these different stories in the Bible, you are studying based upon their relationship with the Creator, whether this is an example that you should follow or is an example of how you shouldn't be. You see? But if you're not using it at all, you don't know how you should be. And the only way you then dictate how you should be is based on the examples that you receive. If you see folks with their pants down, then you feel your pants need to be down. If the majority is walking around, majority of the men walking around with puff balls in their head, then you think you want to have puff balls, because that seems to be the thing. You know, I think some things I shouldn't even say. I should just do it. But my son, he, I guess the end thing now is boxers. But guys, I don't know why, but boxers. Yeah, young folks, they wear boxers. Huh?
Black folks?
Young folks.
Did you say black folks?
Young folks. Yeah, young people. Young people. You know.
The Arab selling for $1 a piece. They're cheap. You can buy one pair.
Well, I remember when they started with designers. Designer boxes, and then they would pull their pants down so you could see the name, Calvin Klein or whatever
Designer drawers.
the drawers. You see what I'm saying?
Boxes was for old people.
But I'm starting to, young folks are starting to think, you know, they're starting to wear these boxes and they're making it seem like it's a fashion thing now. You know, but I kept noticing my son, you know, he every 5 seconds he like, because them boxers was riding up on him. Right. You know, but and they got a thing about the briefs. You know, they call them tidy whities.
Tidy white.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they do. Tidy. You better not be caught dead with no tidy whities on now.
Wait a minute. That's what Yahshua was talking about.
Oh, see? I told you, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
4-year-old, he's talking about tidy. I don't want tidy whities.
Yeah, they want boxes.
I don't know what he was talking about.
That's for babies, yeah, because they look like Pampers, if you think about it.
Man.
So, I had to tell my son, I was like, look, son, I was like, that don't look good. You pulling all in your behind all over the place, you know. You be in public pulling at yourself. I said, that's just not a good thing. I said, son, they have created a thing called boxer briefs.
Wow.
They give it to you, they tidy whities and boxers combined. I said, son, and it gives you more support. You know, where you ain't got to be pulling at yourself. When bought him some boxer briefs, he's straight. But I'm only saying that because, you know, now, if he didn't have a father to tell him that, he'd be pulling at himself all day long for the rest of his life. He probably would have been pulling. And then you see other guys, you see the rappers on TV, they always doing this. Maybe they try, you know, you don't know. They got boxes on. But getting back, these life experiences, the experience that these people went through in the Bible and the Quran, they help us to be able to know what direction we should guide our life by, based upon them. Now, God gave his people gifts and talents that will allow them to be independent and self-sufficient. Now, do I mean independent of him? No. Independent of people that try to enslave you. Self-sufficient from those that try to use your gifts and talents for their benefits. That's what employment is all about. Using your gifts and your talents so that I can make money off of you. And then I throw you 50 cents and I get 50,000. Whereas if you use your own gifts and talents, you can have the 50,000 for yourself.
Come on.
That's it, in a nutshell.
If you are not self-sufficient and you depend upon someone else outside of yourself to provide for you and your family's life necessities, then you are not aware or are not using the gifts and talents that God has given you. You could be using the gifts and talents that God gave you, but you're using them in corporate America for some corporation to make millions off of your gift and your talent. You can have management skills, and they make you manager or CEO or some manager over a group of people in their corporation using your management skills that they may make more money based upon your ability to manage people properly.
You make the big money.
So the people that work under you, because you have such good management skills, they're happy to work under you because you treat them right, you do right by them, so they work hard for you. Which means the white man gonna get a lot of productivity out of those people that you manage. But what about managing your own people for themselves?
That's the solution.
If you got that gift of management, manage your people for our people. Manage people that benefit our people.
That's the solution.
We allow others to recognize and instruct us of our gifts, talents, value, and worth. They employ us and use our gifts and talents for their benefit and compensate us with wages valuing a small percentage of the value that your talents and gifts provide for them. In school, we are taught that in order to be successful in life, we must get a good education so that we can place ourselves in the best position to get a good job. Not make a job, to get a job, meaning working for somebody else. This is where we go wrong and begin to use our gifts and talents to benefit other than ourselves. So now, here's some scriptures that we're going to be dealing with in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 14. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods." Now let's look at this. The kingdom of heaven has a deeper meaning than what we have been led to believe. Heaven and hell do not represent places that we go when we die, but they are conditions of thought that we experience every day. See, if you are depressed, if you are frustrated, if you are angry, you are in hell. For the duration of that thought process, for the duration of those feelings, as long as you feel like that, as long as you think like that, you are in hell. When you begin to think and feel good about yourself, sometimes we have a good day. You just wake up and you feel good. You have good thoughts. Good things seem to come your way. The sun shining. Everything seems to go right. You are in heaven. There is no place in the sky and no place under the ground called heaven and hell. This is a lie that has been told to us in order to keep you looking up for something, believing that you're going to get something when you die. Dr. Webb Evans said all the time, why you got to wait to go up there and get it? You can get it right here while you're here on earth.
Right here, why he wants you to get it. What's on earth, that's why he wants you to get it.
If you are a peaceful person, that would indicate that you have peaceful thoughts. If you are a person that likes to keep up chaos and confusion, that would indicate that you are a chaotic and confusing thoughts. When this scripture speaks of heaven, it speaks to a person with peaceful thoughts. Peaceful. Not chaotic, not confusing. Now, the word kingdom has a deeper meaning as well. In English, this kind of word is called a compound word, meaning that it has two independent words put together to create a new word. King and dome. Give us a deeper understanding into the word kingdom. A king, by definition, means ruler, or the head, or ruler. So y'all saw another ruler, didn't y'all? Y'all was thinking about the king, ruler, right? But a ruler really does what? It measures. It measures space. It measures, even a clock is a ruler. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
It measures time in inches, in degrees. And so now, the human brain, the human brain is the dome in which a ruling mindset rules. You know the dome? Have anybody in here ever got hit in the dome? When it says, whatever mindset we allow to sit as the king or the measurement or the ruler on the throne in the dome will control and dominate our actions. The king in the dome of heaven or the king dome of hell. All based upon you and how you think. Now, Revelation 4, verses 2 through 5 gives a description of the throne of God in heaven. If you have your Bibles, you can turn to the book of Revelations, chapter 4, verse 2 through 5, and it gives this description that you're about to read now. Verse 2, and immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne, and he that sat was to look upon like a jasper or sardine stone. And there was a rainbow around about the throne in sight like unto an emerald. Now, has anybody ever seen a sardine or a jasper or sardine stone?
Jasper stone. Those are what some of the things I use in my jewelry.
Hey, now they have red jasper, green jasper, or emerald jasper, different colors, but if you get a clear jasper stone, it looks like this. A crystal. Now, what is it saying? It says, and he that sat upon it was to look upon like a jasper or sardine stone, or like what you're seeing here, a crystal. Crystals reflect light. I hope I'm not losing you guys. This is a sardine stone. Red. Now, if you understand anything about colors, you know what the color red represents. We're going to go into that in a minute as well. But there are two different poles or parallel differences, whereas the crystal is at the top and the sardine stone, which is red, is at the bottom of the pole. I'm going to give you a visual of it so you can see in a minute. And around about the throne were 24 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting clothed in white raiments, and they had on their head crowns of gold. Now, most of us, when we think about this or when we read this, we think about some place out in the sky, and God sitting on the throne, and he's got 24 seats all around the throne, and some people sitting in white sitting there. But I want to show you what this is really saying. This is the 24 brain stems in the human brain. The 24 elders. You have 12 brain stems on the right side. You were talking about this earlier. I was shocked when you were saying this, brother. I'm like, he moving right where I'm going. 12 brain stems that operate the opposite side of the body. And these 12 brain stems operate this side of your body. But together they represent 24. These are the stems. This is the human brain. Now, why is it important to know this? Look, I got a larger image of it. In your package, you'll see it as well. you'll see this picture. These brain stems, each one of them represent a sensory in the body that operates like when you move your arm. We take these things for granted when you walk. Right. But the way that you walk, the way that you lift up your arm, when you close your fist up or whatever, that is the reaction of messages being sent throughout your body through these brain stems. Meaning your brain is sending a message, an electronic message through these stems down your spinal cord throughout your body. And here you can see the different areas that they operate. I think number one, you see the one at the top, that deals with your nose, that brain stem. You have two nostrils. The one on the left operates the right nostril. The one on the right operates the left nostril. You can read it yourself and look through it. Deals with muscles on the face. Muscles of the tongue. You think that your tongue moves and you talk without receiving instructions?
No.
Why do you think when people are in a coma, nothing operates? Because the brain is not operating. It's not sending messages. So I'm saying this so that we can understand that when we see this scripture, when it talks about the 24 elders around the throne of God, here's the throne of God.
Yeah.
Your brain. This is where the kingdom of God is. Don't think that you are going somewhere when you die and going into the kingdom. No, it doesn't exist. This is what God was trying to show us. This is what Jesus was trying to say. He said that God is as close to you as your jugular vein. Now the white man says you got to go up here to see God. Who you want to believe, Jesus or the white man?
Slave mentality. Slave mentality.
Now look at this. It says, and out of the throne proceeded lightning. Now this is in the book of Revelations. I didn't write this. Out of the throne proceeded lightning and thundering and voices. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Now here, look at this. You see lightning?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the electricity or the electrical impulses that are being sent out of the brain down the spinal column into the entire body. Now the 7 spirits of God represents 7 energy centers that we have in our body. We call them the chakra. And here they are. 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And each one of them have a different color to them. And did you notice that the bottom one is red? Remember I was telling y'all about the jasper? And did you notice that the top one is white?
Right.
Let me give you a better look at it. Here they are.
Yes, it is.
7 energy centers of the body. Now, you remember, I don't know if you all were here or not, but we were teaching about when babies are born, that there's a soft spot at the top of the baby's head. And as long as that soft spot is there, that baby can't talk. Because when the baby comes out of the womb, that baby is spiritually connected to the Creator, because this part of the head or the body is called the crown seat. And this is a connection that we naturally have with the Creator, meaning that we are one with the Creator. union with God, the crown seat. But man, this is where Adam was. When they were in the garden, Adam was one with the Creator. But then they said Adam fell, right? I guess we thought he fell down a mountain or fell down some stairs or something. No, this is where he fell. He fell from the seventh level, which is union with God, all the way down to level 1, which is carnal desire. Beast-like, animalistic tendencies. He was no longer one with the Creator anymore. We fell. And then, now, I'm not going to go into each one of them, but we're going to have a lesson on these a little later on in the session. Not today, but I'm just saying later on we're going to have, that's one of the subjects dealing with the 7 energy centers. But I just want to put them up here so if you want to take notes, you can go and research them and kind of be ahead of the game. This second energy center deals with force.
Yeah.
And if you notice, they push in this color. What color is that? Wait, don't look. Orange.
Good.
This color is being pushed in the world right now. Look at it there.
That's some very wise educators from the University of Chicago. Yeah, that's talking about the Orange Project. To stop violence.
Yeah, to stop violence.
Right.
That's just like say no to drugs. That campaign.
Man.
See, they know that the color orange represents force. And so if you begin to push and promote that color, that color begins to permeate our community, you're going to see more violence, not peace.
Yeah, exactly.
And they know this. Because they know what I'm telling you about you, about your energy centers. This next one. It's supposed to be yellow. I don't know how I turned it green.
That's yellow. That's yellow.
Is it yellow? It looks green.
Yeah,
That's from your position.
Oh, okay. Like it looks green. Okay. Adrenaline, dealing with your adrenaline. Now, mind you, that these are 3 levels. And black folks, we travel up and down this ladder. Now, this is what in the Bible that refers to Jacob's ladder. When y'all hear in the Bible, they talk. This is what the ladder that they were talking about.
Yeah.
These energy centers, and we go up and down these first 3. We kind of deal with carnal desire, force, and adrenaline. Now, you know, adrenaline is the energy that you need. They say adrenaline is the fight or flight energy. Where when you get in danger or you feel threatened or whatever, it kicks in. That's that energy center in your body
right.
that kicks in. That have you shaking if you don't do nothing with it. You're about to fight and you building up all of this adrenaline. And that's what that energy center is. Now, adrenaline mixed with force, mixed with carnal desire, is a formula for death. Now, this next energy center is the heart. Now, that's green, right? Is that green?
Yes.
Okay. If you notice that below the heart chakra is 3 energy centers. If you notice above the heart chakra, there are 3 energy centers above it. So the heart chakra is the bridge. It's the heart that you have to cross over. You have to get control and understand what the heart is all about in order to move into the higher energy centers, which deals with spirituality. You got 3 lower energy centers, which deals with carnality, and then the 3 above it deals with spirituality. The next one deals with the throat. Deals with your communication, speech.
Right.
Speech is spiritual. Can you see my words? You can't see them, but they're there. Spiritual. We'll go into the throat chakra because that deals with a testimony. Your testimony. Like I gave my testimony today. You see what I'm saying? That's from the throat chakra. It's a spiritual thing. Most people believe from a carnal perspective. See, if I was operating from the carnal energies, there's no way I could have given you my testimony because that's my business. You see, that's how we think. That's how carnal people think. That's my personal business. You know? And so, but from a spiritual perspective, there's no such thing as personal because what's mine is yours. What I've gone through, you're going through too. There's no difference between you and I. You just may be going through it now, and I went through it 10, 20 years ago. The next one is the pineal gland, which is known as the third eye. It's right here. Now you know your brain is here. And the pineal gland sits right in the middle of the brain. You see in ancient Kim, they used to wear these headdress, and you saw a snake coming out of the.
Yes.
It came out like this.
Yes.
That represented the third eye.
Third eye.
The pineal gland. And we're going to go into what the pineal gland is as well. But then after that, the next energy center is union with God. Now you can achieve that in your lifetime. You can do that. This is what Jesus came to teach us. Jesus was one with the Father.
Amen.
Now this is what they don't want you to know. That Jesus had to climb the ladder. He didn't come into the world perfect. He said, I came in sin to condemn sin in the flesh. Meaning that he came as a sinful person. All have sinned and fallen short. It didn't say all but Jesus. All. Everyone in this flesh has sinned against God. Everybody.
Amen.
Jesus had to climb the ladder. He had to overcome carnal desire. He had to overcome the desire to use force to get what you want. He had to overcome the use of adrenaline for negativity, but for positivity. He had to cross the bridge dealing with his heart and use his throat to speak truth, and his third eye to be able to see into the future or see of spiritual things and not of carnality. And then that led him to becoming one with his Father. So this is why when he said that when you see me, you see the Father. Because I only do that which pleases him. Because why? I'm one with him. Meaning what? I think like he do. Everything I think. And then you heard him say this. I only say those things that pleases him.
That's it. That's it.
The words that come out of your mouth are formulated based on the thoughts on your mind. So if I think like God, then I'm going to talk like a God.
That's right.
A brother told me earlier that he had been disrespected by a brother. And he was kind of upset by being disrespected because he was a God. And we use that term real loosely. You know, that I'm a God. Now, when you're a God, you are one with God. That means you think like God. The things that come out of your mouth are godly. And God could care less about a Negro. Seriously. A nigga? You think God care about a nigga? So there's no way we can call ourselves gods if niggas is getting on our nerves. So you can use that as a litmus test for you. When a Negro and a niggerette get on your nerves,
Man.
you can just cancel that I'm a God stuff out. You somewhere in here. But look, for the kingdom of heaven, now this is the parable dealing with your gifts and talents. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Now, this is what that scripture means. And you should have it in your booklet so you guys, and see, what we want to do is make this duplicatable. You know, a lot of times you go and you hear a good word or whatever, and you go home and you want to share it with your folks. You be like, but I can't say it like he said it. He said it, but you know, but you got it now. This is how I'm saying it. To develop the mindset of God is like the Creator, God bringing to his servants attention that he has given unto them gifts and talents. That's what this scripture means. He's letting us know that he gave us something. Then in 15 it says, and unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So God gives you gifts and talents based on your ability.
Got it.
What does that really mean? If you a lazy nigga, I'm just saying it, God give you 1. If you a go-getter, he'll give you 5. Because he know you're going to multiply that. According to your ability. He gives us all a certain number of talents according to our ability. Then, he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. Interpretation, the individual that God gave 5 talents to used those 5 talents and discovered that those 5 talents created 5 more. Notice the wording that was used. Those 5 talents created 5 talents. Meaning that when you use them, you know, it's almost just like, and I hate to use this analogy, but I think we'll understand it better. You go to the boat and you put, what is it, a quarter? But they got nickel slots, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, got it all.
Yeah, y'all telling us. You put a nickel in the slot and you hit the jackpot. You get a bunch of nickels, but you started with 1 nickel. If you never put the nickel in the slot and pulled the arm, you would have never got the other 100 nickels. So again, it's about applying yourself. Using your gift, applying it. When you apply yourself, you are using your gift. I used the example earlier about a person that has the gift of management, right? That person can use their gift of management to manage people in organizations like this. You had mentioned it earlier, the Black Panther Party. They were great organizers and great planners, but they didn't manage themselves well. My point is that management for some is a gift. When you use that gift, you begin to find that there were other gifts connected to it. Such as, you may not have known that you had an artistic gift until you started using your management gifts, and based on management, like Sister Makita, she was put in charge of what we see around the room, the banners and things for the Buy Black Parade and things like that coming up. Based on doing that, she discovered she even had a gift for fundraising, which I'm sure is going to lead her into another gift. But if you don't do anything, and then, because see, when the call goes out or the opportunity presents itself, and this is how the opportunity normally presents itself. Hey, I need somebody to supervise the people that are helping the folks line up for the Marcus Garvey parade. Anybody want to volunteer for that? Cricket, 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 cricket. Anybody want to volunteer we just gonna line folks up, put everybody in, make sure everybody in their proper spots in the parade. Anybody want to volunteer to be the chairperson of that committee? Cricket, 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 cricket. What do we be thinking? He ain't finna work the hell out of me. But you understand, that's an opportunity for you to multiply your gift.
Come on, bro.
And we let those opportunities pass because either we lazy or we just, like the person that's coming up here, we believe that we don't, we got to hold on to our gift. Look at this. It says, the example is you have a talent to take very good notes. Use your talent to help others, and another gift connected to that talent will be revealed. We already just went over that basically. But now look, in verse 17 it says, and likewise he that had received 2, he also gained another 2. Same thing. He used his gift and doubled it. But he that received 1. Remember I told you, lazy niggas get 1. Everybody gonna get 1. But lazy ones get 1. But he that received 1 went and digged a hole in the earth. I put hole there, but it ain't there. Digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Money, money, money.
Now, why would he call your gifts money?
That's what it was.
I didn't write this. This is in the Bible now. He said he hid his Lord's money.
Put them in business.
The Lord, his Lord put him in business, didn't he?
Yeah, but he did.
He gave him a gift so he can go into business, and the Lord only wanted 10%.
That's it. That's it. That was money.
But instead of going into business, he dug a hole
Buried.
and buried his. It says the next one. Look at this. After a long time, then the Lord came back. So the Lord to those servants cometh and reckoned with them. Which means that after a period of time had passed, the individual has lived years with this gift. God comes back to see what we have done with our gifts and talents. Y'all remember in the scripture where it says, when the Lord comes back, don't let him catch you with your work undone?
Yeah.
That's right. Better have his money.
Look, it says, and so he that had received 5 talents came, brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. That's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
He did his work.
Right.
His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Self-explanatory. Now look at verse 22. It says, he also that had received 2 talents came and said unto the Lord, delivereth unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. Self-explanatory. Verse 23, it says, his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee rule over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Self-explanatory. Now here comes the laziness. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not strawed. 25 says, and I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. So he's saying, he didn't even go and dig it back up to give it to him. He said, well, I dug a hole and put it in there. It's over there. What's yours is right there. You can go get it.
Right. Man.
The individual that was given 1 talent told God that he didn't want to take a chance at giving his talent away. He wanted to reserve it so that when he came back, that I would have it for you.
Wow.
You know, that's how lazy niggas think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to waste my talent on these Negroes.
Right.
I don't want to waste my talent. I'm going to hold on to it.
That's black people.
Yes. In 26, the Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. You know slothful means lazy, right? Slothful servant. Thou knewest that I reap where I sow not and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money, he said it money again, to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury.
Right.
This is what it means. You wicked, lazy bum. You know that I was constantly creating something out of nothing. Bringing together things that I have not separated, but you should have used my talent, whereupon my return I would have received what I gave you plus interest.
Right.
That's what usury is, interest. And verse 28 says, take therefore the talent from him and gave it unto him which had 10 talents.
Amen. You want to use it.
Therefore, since you did not use my talent, I will take it away from you and give it to the individual that has 10 talents. Somebody that I already know is going to take it and apply it and use it. And when I come back and check on you, I know they ain't going to give me no lame excuse.
Right.
As to why you didn't have, that you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Right.
Now, for unto everyone that has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But for him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he had. Now this means if you use the gift and talents that God has given you, then you shall receive an abundance of gifts and talents.
Right.
But if you don't use your talents, even what you do have will be taken away from you.
That's right.
God has given us, even with our children, he has given us guardianship over them. You know they ain't yours. You know that, right?
Yes.
We just guardians over his children. If you don't do your job, they get taken from you. Either the streets don't take them. You see what I'm saying? DC, exactly. The time is now, brothers and sisters. It's now. You know, we have the opportunity, and we have, how can I say, the atmosphere has been created for us to be able to implement and put into action our gifts and talents.
That's right.
If you don't know what your gift and your talent is, you need to volunteer somewhere. You have to give in order to receive. Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing sitting back praying. Praying, Dr. Webb Evans said all the time. Prayer without legs is dead. Mean nothing. You got to get up and put some legs on them prayers.
Do something. More than true.
That's right.
So, how do we discover our gifts and talents? Again, I say when you volunteer or sacrifice your time to help others, what is asked of you to do will begin to reveal your hidden talents that God had deposited in you. There's so many things that you can do out here. You know, there are people. Well, I think I used this example in the handout here. It says, say you volunteer your time serving food at a homeless shelter, and the cook asks you to assist them in the preparation of the meal. Now, some people can say, man, these niggas ain't paying me. You know, I'm going in here cooking and I ain't getting paid. You know, forget this, I ain't coming back. But then if you are under the understanding that giving is better than receiving, and you are a cheerful giver, then when God blesses you because of your giving, now mind you, you can give with the thought in mind that I'm only giving because I know God gonna give me after I give. It don't work like that. God ain't stupid. He's not stupid. He knows your heart. So if you're trying to fake God out, you ain't faking nobody but you. But now if you go in there and you help the chef to prepare these meals or whatever, because you say you pick up on many of the cook's recipes and discover that you have a talent for cooking.
Right.
That you were unaware of. Years later, you improve on that cooking ability and you open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We got the wrong concept of what pay really is. Pay is not when you receive.
Yes.
It's actually when you give.
Yes, sir.
Because the giving process is really what shows you what your talents are.
Yeah.
If you don't never give nothing and do nothing, you'll never know what your talents is.
Yes.
And it's almost to the degree of we pay when we go to school, we so-called learn, but we don't want to go pay somebody with our time and our work and our effort to go learn how to be an electrician. We're going to get the book knowledge from a book.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go work for an electrician for free. At least I'm going to learn everything.
You get it hands-on. Exactly.
Hands on.
You know.
But we don't know that that's pay. We
But
think we're supposed to pay.
yes. But you know, again, it's better to give than to receive.
Correct.
And through sacrifice of time, you discover a gift that was given to you by God within you just for waiting for you to discover it. So the more you sacrifice and humble yourself to help others, gifts and talents are revealed to you as a reward from God.
Right.
The more you do it. Now, this is how we do. We go and we go volunteer. You see some of these churches, you know, you might be walking down the street and you see churches with the line outside. We're going to church and say, hey, I want to help bag up food for the homeless. And you go in there and you, for a week, you bagging up food. Then the preacher might say, hey, can you make these copies for me? Go in the Xerox room over there and make these copies for me. You know, and then he might say, hey, can you go on this computer and type up this list for me? I got a list here of some things I need to be typed up. Can you type these up for me? And then you discover that you know how to type. You discover that while in the office working, that the secretary or his assistant begins to show you how to operate certain programs and Windows systems.
Right.
You know, you're learning things. You know what I'm saying? And you get all these things under your belt, and then after the week, you waiting for this payday to kick in.
Right.
You know, you looking for God to send you a check in the mail, or you know, you looking for something to make what you've done economically worth it. But you don't even see that you got paid with the knowledge.
Right.
The knowledge that you learned.
Yep.
The opportunity to learn that you had a gift in typing. Do you all know I can type almost 30 words? Is it 30? 30 to 40 words a minute.
Right.
2 fingers. I'd be gone.
That's dope.
Gone. But you know, but it's a shame. I had to discover that gift working for the white man.
Yeah.
But guess who I use it for now?
Black man.
You doggone right.
Black cow.
I ain't with the white man now. I use it for us now.
Yeah, right.
And see, and this is the mentality that we have to have. You got to get out here and you got to do something. You got to become a part of something.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to find out who you are. That's the only way you're going to find out what is in you. Because once you become a part of something, that something begins to bring things out of you that you didn't even know was there. When you become a part of something, you'll find out that there's a certain even creativity that comes out of us
Oh, yeah.
that we didn't know was there. You have an idea, and it just comes in your head, and you be like, man, hey, why don't we do it like this? And they be like, man, that's genius. You may even find out that you have the ability to be an event planner. But you never know it sitting at home watching Maury Povich and Jerry Springer.
On Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook, yes, sir. You ain't going to discover it doing that. You got to get up and do something.
Come on, bro.
That's right.
And you can't have money connected to it.
Right.
Because it's not about money. It's about your gifts, your talents, your goals. What do you want to do in life?
Yes.
And I ain't talking about being a bus driver. I want to work for the city because they pay good. No, I ain't talking about that. In the early 80s, I told myself that I wanted to be a DJ.
That's right. That's right.
And I went for it. I told y'all before, I used 2 cassettes. I had 2 cassettes there. I'm telling you, I wasn't lying. I went for it. People thought I was crazy.
You sure got them jobs, though.
Now I'm making $300 for 2 and 3 hours.
All right.
$300 DJing.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So now, and even that helped me to discover that I had other talents. I got talents as a sound technician too. I learned that just by being a DJ. Because it's more than just playing music. You can put a record on and your music sound like farts. You got to adjust the knobs. You see what I'm saying? Get the right bass level, get the right treble. It's about sound, being a sound check as well. Gifts comes from gifts. You applying one thing, you receive another. Life is about give and take.
But you have to give first.
You give first, exactly.
To initiate receive.
I'm going to say this and then we're going to close out. How many of you all have ever been to a live show?
Yes.
Whether it was a concert, a comedy show, something like that. Everybody basically been some kind of live performance, right? How many times have you heard the artist, well, I'm sure you have, but sometimes people get mad. But you be at a concert and they say, everybody say, yeah! And you be looking at them like, man, I paid you to perform, man. Right. I ain't come here to say yay, you say yay. Right, I won't say ho, 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 and none of that. No, that's your job. But do you know why they do that?
To receive your energy.
To receive the energy. You see? When you give them energy, they give it back in their performance. You know? And then you go to a show and you say, man, like I went to an Earth, Wind & Fire concert. They threw down. But there was thousands of people in the stands loving everything that they played. And they were letting you know, because you would hear them singing the song. And do you know when an artist or an entertainer or a person, anybody, when they get that kind of feedback, it only comes back through the music.
Yeah.
It comes back at you. Yeah. So this is an example I'm giving you, this give and take. It goes out and it comes back in. It's almost even like, what's that, is that yoga? You know, Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Out and in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful flow. But if you're all about receiving, you know,
What's in it for me?
Right.
give me, let me have. That's what I call it. You know, if you're all about receiving, then there's no flow.
Right.
And people don't like giving energy and you ain't giving none back.
Right.
That's even in relationships, right?
Right.
Well, are there any questions, any comments? Anybody want me to go back over anything that I try to, you know, and it's not easy, but I try my best, and I would suggest that everybody else do this as well, is when people say something about you, that before you take it negatively, find out if it's true first. You know, because I've had people say, you know, you a no good nigga, you know, and usually the reaction is, you a no good nigga, you know, and it's just fire back, you know, but what am I?
Right.
You know, you got to really, you know, you got to really look back at yourself and say, well, what did maybe when I promised them that I was going to give them $100 and they was going to use that $100 to pay their phone bill, and I gave them an excuse on the day that I said I was going to give it to them, you know, maybe that made them believe or consider me as being a no good nigga.
Right.
I could, in my mind, say, well, my check just didn't come through like I thought it was. And it's not really my fault. But I did have $100, but I used it to buy my weed because I'm having a party this weekend, or to get my drinks because I'm having a party this weekend that you coming to, and I let you know, hey, man, I'm ready for the party. I got all my stuff, I got this and that and other, and you know I owe you $100. So you could be calling me a no good nigga based upon, look, I got to pay my bill and you buying weed and alcohol with money that you're supposed to be paying me. But you claim you didn't get your check. Right. And so then they call me a no good nigga and I take offense to it. But maybe I am a no good nigga. And I need to really just look at myself and maybe accept that and then go about making some changes using what we taught a couple of weeks ago, dealing with this 8 stages of atonement. You got to correct some things, And so I try my best, and again I say it's not easy, because the natural, normal reaction that black folks have, let me see if I can find it, because I want to go back to this. The natural reaction, is from these 3 levels. You want to fight, either you're going to fight or you're going to use sex to make up for it. I know you're mad at me, girl. Come here. I'll make it up to you. Sick. But we have to fight past these things. You see what I'm saying? And again, it's all about checking ourselves. Making sure that we are in the right based upon everything that we're going through. Volunteering your time so that we can discover our gifts and our talents. Any other questions, comments? Yes, Dr. Webb.
Thing that I would like to ask, I've done a book, Why Black People, Why We Own the Economic Bottom, and Why We're Staying on the Bottom. Because I've done a book, the Crash and Selling book on mine, now what I do. I'd like to get your opinion. Why is it that blacks on the economic bottom, while we're staying on the bottom, and we reach the top and everything else?
Well, it's a whole lot of reasons, but one of the major reasons that we're on the economic bottom is because we don't spend our money with each other.
Right. That's right. That's the main reason. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's the major reason. We don't spend our money with each other. If we give our money to somebody else and they take our money and go build up their communities, then we ain't got nothing. And we ain't gonna never have nothing.
But the bad thing about it, we asking people to bring the business among us to help us. Anytime you're looking for somebody else to take care of your needs, you'll always be in need.
Yeah.
And that's what they come to help us. They come to get your dollars.
They come to get your money and take it back to their community and build up their community.
They come like daily, and they ain't bringing in other back.
Exactly.
And that's natural. We'll stay at the bottom.
That is so true, Dr. Webb. Well, with that being said, I thank you all for coming out. The hour is well spent. I don't want to hold you another second.